as per usual, I cannot keep up with the horrors that come out from the ICE Gestapo and what they're up to. So as you all know, Trump decided to super fund the ICE Gestapo and gave them over $100 billion in his big bullshit bill. And basically what they've become is a domestic police force. They're bigger than like the entire budget of the Israeli military and a bunch of militaries around the world. And now they hyper-police this country. And a lot of these people are former or current Proud Boys or from white nationalist groups. You have people from deep red places in America that are signing up to basically go invade blue parts of the country. It's very, very disturbing what's happening. The reason they're all covering their faces is, of course, because they know they're committing crimes and they know what they're doing is not acceptable. And they figure, let me just hide my identity so in the future there can be no accountability and there can be no justice. Nobody can come after me. That's what's happening. That's what it is. All right, so now let me show you this. This is from NBC. ICE held a 5-year-old autistic girl in Massachusetts to pressure the father to surrender, family says. The girl's father, Edward Hipp, has lived in the United States for the last 22 years, according to his wife. So they blurred out this little girl's face, but this is the picture right here. I'm not kidding when I say ICE decided to deny this report, even though there are literal pictures of it. When they get caught red-handed, they really act like whiny little bitches, don't they? They really try to lie and blame and deflect and obfuscate, and they will literally say or do anything to try to get out of trouble. By the way, another thing that just happened, I don't know how many of you guys saw this, but ICE posted this video talking about, like, oh, here's all the people we deported. And they tried to make it like this big compilation with music in the background, and they said like 2 million people or something self-deported, and then another 500,000 or so they deported themselves. And meanwhile, let me just point out, the numbers are totally fucking made up. Like, those numbers are complete. I follow a bunch of immigration experts, and a bunch of them responded to this and were like, you do realize this is like completely and utterly fake, right? Like, everything they're saying here is fake with a capital F. Well, at the beginning of that video, they had the comedian Theo Von. And this cell phone video that somebody recorded of him where he goes like, I heard you got deported, dude. Bye. He said some shit like that. And they ran that at the front of it. You know, like basically like memeing and joking about ruining people's lives and getting them kicked out of the fucking country. So Theo Von saw that and he replied to it and was basically like, don't use me in your fucking videos, please. Don't use me in your videos because my thoughts on immigration are not like this video portrays them as. I'm not fucking standing here with my pom-poms cheerleading ICE Gestapo thugs cracking skulls. Like, my thoughts are actually more nuanced than that. Now, on the one hand, I look at Theo and I'm like, yeah, but you did kind of back Trump. You interviewed him, you gave him a softball. I think he interviewed J.D. Vance too, gave him a softball interview too. So, like, I think there's criticism for Theo Von. But, you know, now he's trying to backpedal and get out of the way because he knows that it's no longer cool to be associated with this fucking criminal gangster regime anymore. But so that happened as well. They're trying to use like pop culture and meme their way through their fucking destruction of hundreds of thousands of people's lives. All right, so let me continue here because I got more horror. So this is from Homeland Security. They posted this video, this Gotta Catch 'Em All video, where they basically do they basically make it like Pokemon. They do this. I'll play it. I can't really let the music go because we'll get hit on copyright. I could try to speed it up and maybe that'll help avoid the copyright hit. But it's Gotta Catch 'Em All, but instead of Pokemon, it's like immigrants, and they're like joking about the fact, like, look at us, again, we're ruining lives, hooray.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Must defend Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. A heart so true, our gotta catch 'em all.
It's fucking, it's so disgusting that they ruined my childhood thing. I was perfect age for fucking Pokemon Mania, right? And I was in it. I had the Game Boy. I had Game Boy Color. I was playing Pokemon in that bitch. I picked Squirtle off the jump. Like, I love Pokemon. I got the trading cards. I still got my trading cards, bro. That's, like, my childhood is being fucking tarnished and disrespected and ruined by these fascist fucks. No, I don't hate Hispanic people. I don't hate brown people. I actually like them quite a bit. Thank you very much. I actually think they add a lot to this country. Thank you very much. And no, you're going to fucking make a shitty fucking video joking about, oh, look at us, we're ruining more lives. But I'm still not done. Ready for this? So this was in the Miami Herald. hundreds of Alligator Alcatraz detainees dropped off the grid after leaving the site. For the hundreds of men who were detained at Alligator Alcatraz, entering the gates of the makeshift migrant detention center in the Everglades meant exiting the labyrinth but familiar federal immigration process and entering what several immigration attorneys described as an alternate system where the normal rules don't apply. One Guatemalan man detained at the tent site was accidentally deported to Guatemala before a scheduled bond hearing, his attorney said, reminiscent of the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador. A 35-year-old Cuban man could not be located at the California detention facility, where U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement said they had sent him, leaving his family and attorney frantically trying to determine where he was for more than a week, they said. As of the end of August, the whereabouts of 2/3 of more than 1,800 men detained at Alligator Alcatraz during the month of July could not be determined by the Miami Herald. The Herald had obtained the names from 2 detainee rosters. Around 800 detainees showed no record on ICE's online database. More than 450 listed no location and had only instructed the user to call ICE for details. A vague notation that attorney said could mean that a detainee is still being processed in the middle of a transfer between 2 sites or about to be deported. So in other words, y'all, 1,200 people, we have no idea where they are now. They were taken by the ICE Gestapo thugs, brought to Alligator Auschwitz, and now they're gonzo. And family members and friends and immigration attorneys and experts are going, can a brother get an update? Where they at? What the fuck? What's going on here? This makes no sense. This isn't legal. They're not even showing up in the online database for our immigration system. These people are acting completely extrajudicially. That's a fancy way of saying this is illegal. This is unconstitutional. This is not allowed. You can't just detain somebody, have no process, no procedure, no due process, no habeas corpus. They're fucking gonzo. And what, you think that there's going to be no accountability for that whatsoever? No. When these people show up, to the extent that they're fucking alive, we don't even know for sure if they're alive. These are all lawsuits waiting to happen. Guys, this is supposed to be, do you understand? This is supposed to be a civilized country. Like, you have rights. You have rights. There are restrictions on what the government can do to you. Because this is what it means to live in a society, to live in a civilization that actually gives a shit. And now they're just ripping all that up and destroying it. They're destroying it. They're going back to fucking pre-Magna Carta days, bro. That's where we're at right now. I mean, this is an all-out onslaught on domestic law in this country. We've already made a mockery of international law. I mean, that goes back a long way, back even before the Bush regime, right? And they fucking really put the nail in the coffin. But this is now domestically. Law, what law? We do what we want. We arrest you, we detain you, we deport you. Maybe we put your name in the computer. Maybe we don't. Maybe your family knows where you are. Maybe they don't. Maybe your lawyer does. Maybe he doesn't. That's where we're at now. That's where we're at now. This is completely and utterly unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. Look at this in Rolling Stone. What is alarming today is the emerging pattern of shadowy deportations of people who have not had access to a court or any meaningful form of due process, removals that bear the hallmarks of forced disappearances under international law. And they write, ICE is deporting people to Africa on nearly untrackable military flights. At least one of the flights dumped people in a prison camp in Ghana, a country where they had no ties. This is what we're talking about, guys. I mean, they wanted to send Kilmar Abrego Garcia to Libya. Libya is literally a failed state with open slave markets. And you want to send him there to ruin his life and he might wind up a fucking slave? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Well, now we know. This is what they're doing. Untrackable military flights, dumping people wherever the fuck we want all over the world. This is criminal. This is why I keep telling you it's got to be a litmus test on the Democratic side. You have to say that Kristi Noem needs to be arrested. She has to be arrested. Stephen Miller has to be arrested. Donald Trump has to be arrested. These people need to be charged. They need to be held accountable. We need new Nuremberg tribunals, new Nuremberg laws. Like, we have to do it, or else the law is just a fucking joke. There are no checks and balances. There's no law and order. And if we let them get away with this, if we let Elon Musk get away with his crimes, I mean, like, what are we even doing anymore? Like, there's no reason to even pretend like we have a system. We have a bunch of fucking gangsters and pirates and mafia thugs who are running this country into the ground. So I'm sorry, man. It's all on the line right now. It's all on the line. Between the war crimes and the fucking torture and this shit, the concentration camps and the no due process and flouting all the rules. I mean, to not be outraged at this is in itself a crime, in my opinion. I mean, to support this is flat out un-American. Flat out un-American. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.